This was an unexpected video that I was going to do, and it wasn't one I was going to talk about, but when I found out what happened to Jason Black's channel, The Black Authority, I said, let me go ahead and make it. And also shout out to Professor Black Truth, because the video he did talking about it actually gave me a reminder to make me want to do this video. And if you have not done so already, make sure you check out the video that Professor Black Truth just recently did about Jason Black. I posted the link to his channel, well, to that video, in the community tab, and I also shared it on my Twitter account, because right now they're trying to reinstate his channel. But anyway, you're looking at this picture right here, and you're looking at the title, and you're probably wondering what's going on December 10th. Well, if you make a excuse me, if you have a YouTube channel, you make YouTube content, then you would have received a particular email that YouTube has sent out to pretty much every content creator, as far as I know, about some new policies that they're implementing starting on December 10th. And it's about to become real. Like, if y'all thought that adpocalypse thing that happened, what was it, 2 years ago with something, it ain't gonna have nothing on this. So basically what YouTube is doing is they're getting even more stricter with their guidelines. And if you also make YouTube content, you should have also seen this blue header that was at the top of your screen right before you upload any video. And it's basically, in layman terms, asking if you make content that's geared towards children, and basically content that's advertiser friendly. Now, that's something that they have been working to do for a while now, but now it seems like they're really getting it set in stone to go, I guess you can say, mainstream for their site. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read this article that I came across on Mashable.com that was actually posted 3 days ago on November 10th, an exact month before this new policy is set to take place. It says, YouTube new terms of service has some users and content creators very worried that the company could delete their account. In the section titled Account Suspension and Termination, with the subheader Terminations by YouTube for service changes, the site news terms, which are set to take effect on December 10th, adds the following. YouTube may terminate your access or your Google's account access to all of or part of the service if YouTube believes in its sole discretion that provision of the service to you is no longer commercially viable. Pay attention to those last two words, commercially viable. That literally lines up with the whole advertiser friendly thing. In its most basic terms, if YouTube isn't making money off of you, the company can delete your account. So basically they're saying that if you have no access to AdSense, or you have your AdSense turned off and you're making money maybe through donations of other means, and the company and YouTube cannot get money from you, because if y'all didn't know, the super chat takes 30%, no, like, was it 30%, I believe, of your earnings, or AdSense in general. Well, I know the super chat does. Now, if you run a channel where you are making money through other means, through the YouTube space, and it's not through them, they're probably going to target you, because it's like you found a way around that in order to make your money without them getting paid. So if you use like anything like PayPal or maybe Streamlabs or something like that, where whatever they donate to you, you get 100% of that money, or at least a good chunk of it with very little taken away, then they're going to come after you. The platform's current terms of service do not include this language. Last week, YouTube started sending an email to its users notifying them about the site's new terms of service. In its email, YouTube summarizes the update as a way to make its terms clearer and easier to understand. Yet this new addition to its terms weren't mentioned in the email, and the wording couldn't be any more vague. That's the same thing that they be doing when they be giving you strikes. You don't know you don't know where it really comes from. It's very vague. As written, these broad terms give YouTube the power to delete a creator's account if they upload or live stream video that, for example, doesn't pull in enough advertising revenue. YouTube viewers aren't in the clear either. Notice the terms are worded to cover anyone who has an account, not just its content creators. So basically, if y'all watch my content, if you watch my videos, and you don't make any content yourself, at least enough content to make money for the site, then they will delete your account as well. Basically, is what they're saying. So when I had emailed or sent, or was emailing YouTube months ago when I said something seems wrong with my subscribers, like I don't know if I keep losing or if they keep unsubscribing, people have to keep subscribing. What it was is that it was probably a test run back then, and that was just a few months ago. Because at one time my channel was flourishing, like it was doing great numbers. Some people got unsubscribed, they had to resubscribe. I would get emails of people subscribing to me that had already subscribed before. Like I would recognize some of the same names pop back up because YouTube was unsubscribing people. Now they're going full throttle and saying, well, if you just are a user and you just are there to watch them and don't make any content, we're going to delete you as well. YouTube is cleaning house, but I don't think it's all for the good, though. To be honest, I know it's not. It says the language could use can mean that a user who looks at lots of content but doesn't necessarily monetize can also have their account removed. A generous read of these terms can be seen as YouTube giving itself the ability to remove users in channels that disseminate hate speech or other violent rhetoric. For example, an account that starts creating white supremacist content can certainly be deemed as no longer commercially viable. However, the wording could be more explicit in defining what the update means. It should also be noted that the terms specifically state the company can terminate a user's Google account as well. And you know what? If they terminate your Google account, there's no way that you'll be able to create another YouTube account because Google owns YouTube and you need a Google account in order to create a YouTube channel, which means if they terminate your Google account, whatever AdSense money you were getting, you're no longer going to get. And that means you probably would have no longer have any access to a Gmail account. And that's probably any Gmail account, or maybe the Gmail account that was linked to your YouTube channel. As written, a YouTuber can lose their Gmail, like I just said, Google Photos, documents, and more just for no longer being commercially viable on the video platform. People are, of course, freaking out. On Reddit, a single discussion on the topic has more than 32,000 upvotes and 2,300 comments at the time this post was published. Tweets shining a light on the terms of service update are receiving thousands of likes and retweets. As one person on Twitter points out, this feels to some like yet another move from YouTube that plays favorites with its biggest, most profitable creators. Channels with more than 10,000 subscribers are able to use YouTube Studio Space for free. In 2018, the company changed its monetization policy, shutting out many smaller content creators. Small channels that are eligible for monetization have increasingly higher standards to abide by than those with bigger channels did when they were starting out. Mashable has reached out to YouTube for more information, and we will update this post when we hear back. Now, they have posted an update, and I'm about to read that now, that came through on November 11th at 8:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the very next day after this original article was posted. A YouTube spokesperson provided Mashable with the following statement. It says, "We made some changes to our terms of service in order to make them easier to read and to ensure they're up to date. We're not changing the way our products works, how we collect or process data, or any of your settings." Then another update came just a few hours later on the same day. This is a YouTube spokesperson has sent Mashable additional information that was included in a tweet from the company. They said, and this is coming from Team YouTube, it says, "To clarify, there are no new rights to our TOS to terminate an account because it's not making money. As before, we may discontinue certain YouTube features or parts of the service. For example, if they are outdated or have low usage, this does not impact creators or viewers in any ways." Well, I will believe that when I see it, because this would not surprise me. Look at the stuff. Listen, if y'all was around on YouTube, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of backstory. I created my original YouTube channel, which was not under the title of taureanreign. Back in 2010, it was under my real name, and I created it when I was in college. I was in my junior year, I believe, of college in 2010. No, it was, yeah, I think it was my junior year. I was getting ready to head into my senior year of college. and it just had college content on. I didn't really use it. I think the highest I got was like 300 something subscribers until I started making the content I have now. And then I changed my whole platform up from what I was doing when I was in college to what I'm doing right now. The policies and how it was back then was completely different. And that was because that was when Google had like first purchased YouTube. Because YouTube, when it first got founded, was a private owned company. They were owned by themselves. There was no outside nature, but they weren't making any money. And I think they wanted to pay their content creators, but they couldn't afford to do it because then it would shut down their platform because they couldn't pay it. So Google teamed up with them, I think in like '08. So you're talking about 2 years later, I created my account, so they were still fresh. But when that whole adpocalypse thing happened, then that's when it started to take a turn for the worse. And that came about from, PewDiePie, which was one of their biggest, if not largest, YouTube content creator. He has like the most subscribers out of anybody. I think almost 100 million, something like that. It's a very high number. He lost the Disney's deal and everything. And then you had Logan Paul do what he did. See, it's amazing how all this stuff, they want to change all these policies up, but it's coming from the people who have these high subscribers who are doing it, but they're not going to punish them because at the end of the day, they bring them money. They bring in a lot of revenue for the site and for Google. And to punish them would be suicide. They would lose a huge chunk. Like, think of PewDiePie and the Paul brothers as little mini banks within the vault that is known as Google and YouTube. You take those banks out of there and their stock will plummet. No matter what bad they have done or despicable they've done in the past or anything that they could have brought as far as a bad nature upon the channel. I mean, not the channel, the website itself. They're not going to get rid of them. But I think one of the worst parts about this is that CEO, Susan whatever, I can't pronounce her last name, and I really don't have that much of a high esteem respect for her to try to pronounce her last name. I've done so many videos about her in the past and how she is probably one of the worst CEOs. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. If you go to her YouTube channel, every video that she has ever posted had a lot of dislikes and a lot of criticisms behind her. That's why she doesn't make any YouTube videos anymore. Her channel just sits there. I think she finally got the hint that nobody appreciates her. Many people have been saying that she needed to resign for like at least the last 2 years. Because ever since she became the CEO, everything about YouTube and this platform has dwindled and gone completely downhill. It's literally a runaway train to hell. And it is burning right now. It's in ashes right now. But it's been little things that has been leading up to this. And to be quite honest, I would not be surprised if a lot of this stuff like the adpocalypse and what the Paul brothers did could have been orchestrated. So they could have a reason to implement these new policies. And the article stating about how a lot of this stuff is very vague doesn't surprise me either. They write vague stuff, or people who are in business or who do shady business anyway will write stuff very vague so the person will either not understand what's being said or they will not want to read all of that and stuff because it's like, for what? So when the person gets caught up in it, they're going to say, oh, well, you should have read the fine print, because, they're good for doing stuff like that. But this right here doesn't surprise me. So all I'm going to say is this to all the people who make content, especially like the one that I do, is about to be very interesting in less than a month. We're going to see what happens and what occurs from this, because like I said, it looks like it's getting very real right now. But I actually believe every word that this article says and believe very little of what Team YouTube came back with, because even the people who, I think that Team YouTube has a channel as well, and they get the same amount of dislikes as Susan did when she was making content, because they know they are in cahoots with each other. After all, she's the one that hired them. So they're just doing her bidding. As far as we know, she's the puppet master and they are the puppets. And she's also the one holding the scissors. So if they get out of line, she can cut them and get a new puppet. But the day she steps down, hopefully it'll go in the direction that it needs to. But they've been trying to get her to step down for years, and she's still there. As a matter of fact, I've actually heard the other businesses that she's been a part of before she became the CEO of YouTube, that she wasn't a good business person then. So it's like, why would you hire someone who was not a good business person to run a global conglomerate, one of the biggest social media platforms like YouTube? Unless that was their grand scheme the entire time. Results. Sorry about that. This thing is extra sensitive. But yeah. It's about to be very interesting, but I just wanted to make this video. Like I said, it was unexpected, but I wanted y'all to hear that from me. So you're not surprised if something crazy does happen. And you'll be like, oh, Taurian did say that. And I'm just giving you a heads up. But I've definitely gotten the emails about this new policy that's about to kick in. I definitely saw that blue banner at the top of my page saying, do you make content that's child friendly or not? Click yes or no. And they said that is a legal requirement that you say what it is. So I don't know if Lisa is listening, or True Royal, or 1LVZ, or anyone else who makes content, who watches me and we're subscribed to each other. Y'all better check and look into that ASAP. It's like, and I know because Lisa had to deal with YouTube before in the past, and we all know about that in that story. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up and bring y'all that article. As a matter of fact, I will post the article down in the comments. I'll pin it so you can actually go and read again for yourself and share it with as many people as possible. Because this is definitely going to be, it's going to be something. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be something. But I'm going to get off of here. I will talk to you all in the next one.